welcome back everybody to my Daily Dose with Tim. Today is Season 1, Episode 36. So as I mentioned to you last week already, at this point we're looking to wind down Season 1. And by we, I mean me. I understand that the weather has been so amazing every day now, and it's summertime. And so I know we're still battling through COVID. However, make sure you take the proper precautions and exercise your good judgments when you're going out there so that you protect yourselves and others around you. However, the whole point is I'm going to be winding this Season 1 down as of next Friday. So next Friday will be the last episode for Season 1 here. So I kind of thought, you know what, it would be awesome to actually share with you one of my absolute favorite strategies. And this was also my baby strategy when I first got started in this industry as well. And here is the first episode that's going to address that, and I will walk you through why that is. So first thing first, what is a lease option? So by definition, honestly though, a lot of you guys know it as rent to own or RTO, depending on how you want to look at it and what kind of marketing you've been exposed to. So lease option really is RTO or rent to own. However, I want to keep everything technical. Anybody who's ever been to a class that I've taught on this particular subject, you all know that I like to say, let's keep it professional and let's keep it technical, because it makes it a lot easier to understand things later, especially if you're actually a managing partner, meaning an active investor who's looking to put these deals together. Because most people understand that lease option now is actually lease with the option to purchase, meaning later on when we're discussing more in detail about this, you're looking to set up two separate sets of contracts. And a very easy way for me to usually explain how this works is especially to the people that have had experience leasing vehicles in the past. Why? Simply because it's kind of the same concept, right? For those of you who are watching this or who are watching this later, if you've had the experience of leasing a vehicle, you understand that by the time you actually walk out, so let's say pickup day or delivery day, I think that's what they call it. It's been about 2 years since I picked up my last car here. So, and I always lease. Why? Because remember, if it drives on the ground, flies in the air, or swim in the ocean, it's probably a depreciating asset. However, that's the point that I'm looking to make with you here, is that if you're on a lease term on your vehicle, for example, what that really means is on delivery day, so pickup day of your vehicle, and you do your final paperwork at their financing office, what you're going to have is how much your monthly payment is definitely going to be, when that lease is going to end, and most importantly, what the buyout amount will be. It's just that when it comes to a vehicle purchase or vehicle lease, that buyout amount typically is less than what it is worth today. However, let's reverse that, keeping the same three components. How much the monthly payment is going to be, how long is that lease going to be, and your option to purchase price, okay? Those three components will remain in this structure. It's just that the option to purchase price typically in a property lease with the option to purchase scenario is higher. Because guess what? Typically speaking, without COVID, without crazy financial crises that happen throughout time, typically speaking, real estate usually goes up. So usually when I say that, most people are like, what? Not necessarily, depending on which market you're in. However, let's just take a look at this way. Okay, let's just say that this is the real estate market depending on which market you're in. Let's say COVID, and then what's happening. If you connect the average or the median of every single point, you will basically see that over time, property value does still go up. And that would actually answer a lot of the questions that some people have, especially in terms of how we determine the end option to purchase price value. However, that's not what we're going to be talking about today. I think it's safe to say that this whole week I'll probably be creating a mini course around lease options. So today is really just the introduction of it and really wanting to make sure that everybody understands what lease with the option to purchase really means. And another thing is, I know this is not a regular class and you might not be taking notes. Maybe you're just driving or commuting and listening to this right now. That's totally fine. However, I do want you to remember though, when we're talking about lease options this week, and maybe, I don't know if we're going to go into next week, hopefully I'll be able to squeeze everything in this week, is the fact that I'm going to be focusing on explaining this as an exit strategy as opposed to an acquisition strategy. So using lease option as an acquisition strategy, that technically falls under the creative financing umbrella and seller financing. So that gets usually lumped into talking about vendor takebacks, agreement for sale, and all that kind of things. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on using this as an exit. I think most exit signs are in red, right? So we're going to be talking about this and sharing this strategy with you as an exit strategy. And also, typically speaking, we like to leverage this exit strategy and single family homes or single family properties as our examples. And as we go through this throughout the week, you'll get a much better idea in terms of why that is. Now, the question that a lot of people ask is, well, is it really a strategy that's good for me when it comes to my investing journey? So I'm going to bring back something that you probably should be familiar with now if you've been following me since at least episode 21, okay? So we talked about the whole circle of wealth, or remember, I want to change it to wheel of wealth now. It's kind of got a ring to it. So if we change it to the wheel of wealth, either way, doesn't matter. Whatever you're more used to or you prefer really at this point, okay? So based on the 3 different types of income that are within the wheel of wealth, you have earn, passive, and portfolio. Why do we like lease options? So why do we like rent-owns? Okay, why do we like rent-owns? It's simply because of the fact that, does it make you earn income? Check. Does it make you passive income? Check again. And does it make you portfolio income? Check again, please. So the reason behind that, as I mentioned earlier, is that when we're determining the option to purchase price, typically it is a pre-appreciated value that is determined from day one. So there are a lot of benefits for us to be doing that because number one, as an investor, okay, you actually get to really know how much money you're making from the entire deal altogether. I'm going to be attempting to do a deal analysis with you probably mid to the end or towards the end of this week as we're talking about this. And usually I do these videos between 15 to 20 minutes, so I'll probably go in pretty fast about that. But just bear with me. I'm going to do my darndest to make sure that it is still clear for all of you. However, the whole point is though, you have all 3 different buckets checked. And the reason why this was my baby strategy was because as opposed to a regular income property on a single family home rental, a lease option actually gives you a whole lot more in passive income on a monthly basis. So as a result, for those of you who are looking to gain financial freedom ASAP, okay, remember financial freedom, I think I explained to you my 3 different levels already. So I'm just gonna say financial freedom number 1 is once again when your passive income, okay, exceeds your monthly expenses. Or if you want to leverage what we just learned last Friday as well, remember I did an income property analysis with you. We call it MO. So your personal monthly operating expenses, okay, that's when you gain, oopsie, your financial freedom. And this is why it was actually my baby strategy. And I picked it because I follow the goal SMP process. My goal was to be out of the rat race as soon as I possibly can. And so as a result, it was about looking to increase my passive income faster than any other strategy could bring me at the time, okay? And so that's why I chose this. Now, going back to this though, this is why people actually really do like it. Whether or not this is your favorite strategy, it doesn't matter because guess what? Money does not discriminate. So if you're in it with a clear financial goal, you might really want to think about this strategy. And obviously I could be a little biased because this is honestly the strategy that allowed me to gain financial freedom, to allow me to have the time after my depression and last heart attack to really be able to just stay home, get centered, get healthy, and pave that road for me to really live the life that I wanted to live. And I understand that I'm not the only person that's benefited from this strategy. So really encourage you guys to look into this or at least just follow along this week, okay? And so this is really what I wanted to share with you today, is the fact that if you're looking to make sure you can round out your wheel of wealth, then, and at the same time, being able to increase your passive income a lot faster, this is where you want to start, okay? Now, the other thing, honestly though, is the fact that I actually mentioned to you the fact that we actually leverage single family properties as our main vehicle for demonstration as an exit strategy, mainly simply because we are using this strategy to help other people that are not able to qualify for traditional lending right now to start to set themselves up for a successful home ownership. And so this is why a lot of the times we actually call our lease option programs home owners in training programs. And later on, you're going to learn about the fact that our tenants are not just regular tenants because we call them tenant buyers. Why? Let's come back here once again. Because it's lease with the option to purchase. So when they have the option to purchase by definition is buy. So they turn into buyers. However, they're tenants first and foremost. And that's something that you also need to remember. And this is why we're setting up 2 different sets of paperwork with them, because it protects everybody involved. Meaning, for example, if I am the managing partner and I find, let's say, John and Jane Smith as my tenant buyers during a 3-year lease option program, everybody is protected under the provincial RTA, the Provincial Residential Tenancies Act. Sometimes I blank on what these acronyms are. There's so many of them. And I know. I think I mentioned that I was going to do an episode on a lot of the acronyms and maybe glossaries on the common terms. I think maybe I'll still have to do that at some point. Maybe season 1, maybe season 2. I don't know. We'll get there, I promise, okay? And so the point is, though, lease with the option to purchase during the entire contract term. Everybody is governed and protected based on their respective provincial RTA, depending on where the property is, okay, where you're operating this business. And once again, just because you live in Edmonton, for example, for me, it doesn't mean that your lease options need to happen in Edmonton. It can happen anywhere. And that's another reason why I love this strategy so much, because we focus on tenant first rather than property first. And this is why it's very, very strategic in the way that it basically lines up with the entire goal SMP process. Once again, my goal was to be out of the rat race as soon as possible. So by definition, I needed strategies that will create the passive income that I needed to do that. And then I would choose the markets that would actually contribute to the strategy the best. Meaning, I can go into one market and make $600 a month in cash flow on one deal, or I can go to another market where I can, I'm out of frame now, or I can go to another market and make $1,000, $1,100 on a monthly basis in cash flow. All things considered, let's say all things held equal, which market would you go to? And this is why we keep on emphasizing about the fact that it all starts with a financial goal. It never starts with the property, because in the SMP process, P stands for property. You don't ever look at property first. So anybody that tells you that if you want to go into real estate, you look at property first, that's not entirely true, okay? And one of the things that I would likely want to wrap up the season with everybody is your proper offer making process. Your proper offer making process. Because I do fundamentally believe that way too many people are doing it wrong. And don't get me wrong though, I'm not saying don't make offers. I'm just saying stop looking at houses. Stop looking at properties, because that's not what this is about. If you want to learn how to invest, learn how to invest first. Okay? Do you hear the difference? In that sentence there, the word real estate or property or house is not even in it. So just think about that for a second. Now, coming back here, this is what I wanted to share with you guys today, is the fact that if you love helping others when they are turned down by traditional lenders, this is an alternative lending strategy for you as an investor as well. And so technically, a lot of the times people do put lease options under the creative financing strategy umbrella, which is every bit true. And the other one is if you really want to be less involved in a day-to-day property management process, then lease option is also a great strategy for you as well. So tomorrow we're going to go through some of the pros and cons, who are your typical tenant buyers and who you can help and who you can support, all the while making good return on your money and very good cash flow so that you can get to financial freedom just a little faster. All right, so I think that's it for today. Thank you for your support, and make sure you like, comment, ask questions. I get a lot of texts from you guys or through Messenger these days. However, make sure you share this with anybody who you think can benefit from it. So this week, I'm going to share my baby strategy with you, which is lease options. So stay tuned and stay with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great evening, everybody. Live well.